With my grandmother, it was like she was in the bed and stopped breathing. My cousin and I were in the room, and we both looked at each other like, okay, she finally stopped, she let go. And literally just like a white glow lifted from her body and just like kept lifting into the ceiling and dissipated.
Um, so I have always been able to um, see some of the ghosts and some of the dead people since I was little. I've always had experiences with ghosts since I was little and don't remember not having experiences. I have always felt like it's natural. And I don't know, I just have never not seen them, so it's natural to me. I didn't know other people didn't until I got further into grade school, like third and fourth grade, and I got started making fun of because of it. So, but then as an adult, I got over it and um, started doing like vending at fairs and stuff, and would do readings for people and helping them with their issues and situations with the paranormal.
Growing up in the house we grew up in, the previous owner's name was Charles, and he had passed away in his den, which later became my bedroom. And either I'd be home alone or everybody's downstairs, and I'd hear the floor creak. I told my mom I would hear him talk, and to me, that his spirit hadn't left the building.
I have a memory of going to the Genesee County Library with my mom. I was sitting in the waiting room while my mom was looking up for books for her college or something, and this old lady came through, and I started talking to her about my favorite book because she asked me why I was here. And then mom came back and was like, honey, who are you talking to? And I was like, oh, her name was Mildred and blah, 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 blah. And the mom looked at me and then looked at the library lady and just waved and said, okay, we're going to go home now. She was like, okay, well, don't do that in public. Only because people ask questions and, aren't really sure of why the young person would be speaking to nothing.
It was after my great grandpa died. I woke up in the middle of the night and it was like a greenish glow, but he was standing in front of my mirror in my bedroom. But it was really weird because his reflection, you could see the backside of him in the mirror, which I don't know, I can't really explain that one. It was really strange.
Went out to Arizona when my dad had been sick and was passing. Stepmom and her nephew had left the hospital, and I walked out with them to have a cigarette, and they left, and I said, I'm going to finish my cigarette. I was like, no, like, I seen my dad. I had to go back in. And when I went back in, within minutes he passed. Some people's beliefs are based in different religions, and it might be like against their religion to think something like that. Some people haven't had the experience, so not a lot of people, but some people are like, well, if I don't see it, it's not real. And if they haven't had an experience to see a spirit leave a body or be in a cemetery and hear the laughter of children, or, why would they believe it if they haven't experienced it? Just because somebody said this is what happened to me, it's like, okay, but if somebody tells me a spirit visited them in their home, I believe them, because that's what spirits can do.
There's been a couple, but the one that really sticks out the most is at the cemetery. A friend of mine, we decided we were going to go in there one night because we had heard stories about the place. So we went in there and we went back to the Crack the Whip back toward the middle of the cemetery, and there really wasn't anything going on. But on the way out, after we looked at the Crack the Whip, it was a night. It was kind of a gray night, and a girl came out from behind a tree. It was really weird. She was talking about how she wanted us to come back and have a party back there later on, and we just didn't really feel really good about it. It was like, what in the heck just happened? She was young. She was probably in her maybe 20s or so. I really can't even remember what she was really wearing or anything. I just remember everything was like a gray color. Like everything about that whole night was really weird.
What I have heard is there's a shoe that belongs to it. And if you put your foot in the shoe and it fits, I've heard two different things. Either you're going to find your demise soon, or they'll come alive at midnight if you're there at midnight. Whether either one is true or not true, those are just things I've heard.
So what I have been told is that it was from a bus accident and the kids were killed in a bus accident, and the clothes from the kids were actually cast into the statue. And then there's something about the shoe that's like maybe 20 feet or so away from the statue, and if you put your foot in the ground, that you'll be like one of the next ones to die. So people don't really like putting their foot in the shoe.
One of my friends had to go there for a job she was doing, and we went in toward the area after we did the job, or went with her so she could do the job. And we went down there and talked about the Crack the Whip area and how cool it was and what the legend was about it. And I felt really, really peaceful. I didn't feel malevolent of any kind, with no energy like that. It was just peaceful.
I don't think spirits of children have evil in them. And that would be an evil sentiment. And I don't see children doing that.
Like an evil act.
Yeah. So it's like when you tell a story to somebody and then they tell a story to somebody, and it's never, by the time it hits the 8th or 9th person, it's nothing like what the first one said. And sometimes I think that's with stories, especially of like supposedly scary stories, how they evolve. But I would think that, yeah, maybe the spirits come alive and you're going to hear them giggle or whatever, but I don't think it would be an evil act of you're going to die because your foot fit.
The violence of the crash maybe or something, and it was unexpected and their souls weren't prepared to leave, or maybe it's just something to do with like the whole Flint thing and everybody talking about it and nobody really knows.
If your foot fits in the shoe, you die. I wouldn't think so. It wouldn't be specifically the shoe. The individual's own belief who sticks their foot in the shoe, kind of what their belief is, manifests their reality. So, if they think it's going to curse them and they start noticing the bad habits or the bad outcomes of something happening, like if you're clumsy all the time but then don't notice until you do something like stick your foot in a cursed thing, you're going to start noticing that more. Then it's not happening increased, you're just noticing it more.
There is another life. The Old Testament teaches it, the New Testament teaches it, Jesus taught it, the apostles taught it. If a man die, shall he live again? That's the question Job asked. That's the question that millions are asking tonight, and the answer from the Bible is a resounding yes. Yes. There is a life after death.